Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm going to be your quiz master today, testing your knowledge on some absolute must-know UK food hygiene requirements. Let's be real, whether you're running the business, cooking on the line, or managing the front of house, mastering this stuff isn't just about ticking boxes to pass a test. It's about keeping people safe and making sure your business stays legally compliant.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the board. We've got 6 rounds lined up for you today to see how sharp your food safety knowledge really is. We're going to cover the core challenges, the famous 4 C's, managing allergens, staff hygiene, UK law basics, and then we'll wrap it all up.
All right, Section 1, the Food Safety Challenge, testing your hygiene knowledge. We're kicking things off with a big one.
So, question 1. What is the most common cause of foodborne disease in food businesses? Is it A, food left at room temperature for 4 hours, B, food contaminated by food handlers not thoroughly washing their hands, C, food purchased from an unapproved supplier, or D, food cooked at too high a temperature? Take a second to lock in your guess. Okay, if you went with B, spot on. You're absolutely correct. While leaving food out or using dodgy suppliers is incredibly risky, the number one culprit, without a doubt, is food contaminated by handlers who just aren't washing their hands properly. And you know, this perfectly illustrates exactly why hand washing is so critical. The main pathway for spreading really nasty bugs like norovirus and hepatitis A is what we call the fecal-oral route. Basically, this transmission happens directly via contaminated hands or surfaces when people just don't maintain proper hygiene. It's totally preventable, but also incredibly common.
Moving swiftly on to round 2, the 4 C's of hygiene. Let's test your knowledge on the absolute foundation of preventing food safety problems, according to the UK Food Standards Agency. Question 2. What are the 4 main things to remember for good hygiene? Do you think it's A, cooking, cleaning, chilling, and cross-contamination? Or maybe one of the other combinations up there on the board? Think about it for a sec. The correct answer is A. The fundamental 4 C's of food hygiene are cooking, cleaning, chilling, and cross-contamination.
What's kind of amazing here is how these 4 simple steps, when you actually manage them correctly, prevent the vast majority of foodborne illnesses. According to the Food Standards Agency, these 4 C's form the absolute backbone of HACCP. That's Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Point Principles. Every single food business has to follow these to manage their safety procedures.
So here's the deal. Whether you're storing food in the walk-in fridge or transporting it from the cash and carry in a cool bag, keeping raw and ready-to-eat foods completely separated is just non-negotiable. It is your ultimate defense against that 4th C, cross-contamination. All right, round 3, managing food allergens. Protecting your customers, this is an area where mistakes aren't just a basic compliance issue, they can literally be a matter of life and death.
Picture this. It's a crazy busy Friday night service. Question 3. If a customer tells you they have a milk allergy, which option is the safest response? A. Offer them a common alternative like soya milk immediately. B. Tell them the dish should be fine, but they should eat carefully. C. Check the allergen matrix and speak to the chef before answering. Or D. Assume the kitchen is allergen-free and serve the meal. The safest, and honestly the only correct response here, is C. You absolutely must check the allergen matrix and speak directly to the chef before you give the customer any answer. Never, ever guess.
Let's look at how an allergen matrix builds a proper safety net for your team. It's a game changer for helping both kitchen and service staff know exactly what's hiding in every single dish. Just notice how things like celery can hide in stocks or egg in pasta sauces. Even shared fryer oil can transfer trace amounts of fish or gluten, which is more than enough to trigger a severe reaction.
You know, we always instinctively want to blame the kitchen when allergy mistakes happen. But actually, the initial communication is where the majority of fatal errors begin. The server taking the order poses the highest allergen risk to a customer. That's exactly why front-of-house training is absolutely 100% vital.
Moving to round 4, staff illness and hygiene. Let's talk about the super strict rules governing fitness for work.
Think carefully about this one because it is a massive compliance issue in the UK. Question 4. When can a food handler safely return to work after having diarrhea or vomiting? Is it A, immediately if they feel well enough to work? B, after taking anti-diarrhea medication? C, after 24 hours of resting at home? Or D, after being symptom-free for at least 48 hours? The answer is D. A food handler can only step back into the kitchen after being completely symptom-free for at least 48 hours. No exceptions.
It ensures no residual bacteria can contaminate the food. This visual timeline shows exactly why staff must report symptoms right away. Look at the 24-hour mark. You might be feeling totally fine, right as rain, but you are actually still potentially contagious. You really have to wait that full 48 hours after recovering before you can safely return to food handling duties.
And we have to stay super vigilant because of something called the healthy carrier. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's a person carrying harmful bacteria who shows absolutely zero symptoms of illness. This is exactly why we never taste food with our fingers or double-dip spoons. Even perfectly healthy-looking staff can transfer really dangerous bacteria right into the food.
Oh, and speaking of hidden bacteria, let's talk about our mobile phones for a second. They are absolute magnets for contamination. In a modern kitchen, sure, you might need to check a work WhatsApp group or confirm an online order. But mobile phones must be managed strictly. Keep them out of prep areas and always require thorough hand washing immediately after using one.
All right, round 5, UK food law basics. Ignorance of the law is literally never an excuse in food safety, so let's check your knowledge.
Question 5. Which UK law is the very foundation for food safety in all food businesses? Is it A, the Food Safety Act 1990, B, the Food Hygiene England Law 2019, C, the Safe Food Regulations Act 2005, or D, the UK Catering and Hygiene Act 2021? The cornerstone of all UK compliance is A, the Food Safety Act 1990. It's the primary piece of legislation that all other specific food regulations are actually built upon. Enter the EHO, the Environmental Health Officer. Now, their primary role is actually to give advice and support to help businesses meet standards, but don't underestimate their authority. Breaking food safety laws can lead to immediate business closures, massive fines, and in really serious cases, actual imprisonment for owners and managers. It's no joke. So, if things go wrong, the main legal defense you have is due diligence. Basically, did you take all reasonable precautions and exercise appropriate care to ensure compliance? A huge part of this defense is proving your staff have the right food hygiene training for their specific role. Even if a formal certificate isn't strictly mandated by law, you have to prove you took the necessary steps to train them. And all of that due diligence is ultimately graded by your food hygiene rating, from 0 meaning urgent improvement required, all the way up to a 5 for very good. Displaying this green sticker is mandatory in Wales and Northern Ireland, and it's voluntary in England. But either way, it's the ultimate public reflection of your daily standards. Well, we've made it. Section 6, final score and wrap-up. Let's tally up how you did and reflect on everything we've covered today. Before we go, I want to leave you with this one vital question to ask yourself before every single shift. Have you taken all reasonable precautions and exercised appropriate care to ensure food safety compliance in your business today? Because at the end of the day, doing things right doesn't just pass a quiz or make an inspector happy. It protects your livelihood, your reputation, and most importantly, it keeps your customers safe. Thanks for learning with me today.